What's up, guys? How you doing? It's another coming to you with another video for the channel. I had to obviously, I kind of already started just a little bit. I had to make sure that I could play. I don't know if you would have watched my video before this where I did a stream on Yu-Gi-Oh, which is a card game. But essentially what happened was is I had the pleasure of being in a motorcycle accident, so my right hand and wrist and all that's kind of oh ow. My right hand and wrist, which is my dominant, is having issues. And it's not really my hand and my wrist. It's more just my thumb. I can't move it like I want to, and it's like because they had to put uh a metal plate and screws in my wrist. It's like it's messed with something when it comes to my thumb. So my thumb is just like it's partially numb and I don't have the range of motion that I used to have, which is still very early stages. I actually just got a cast taken off yesterday and got a splint put on so I could actually take it off and, try to start the whole physical therapy portion of it. But yeah, no, so wasn't too sure if I'd be able to play this or really play anything. That's why I did the Yu-Gi-Oh stream just because I could play that on here with one hand because I, kind of use it more like you would a piano, kind of how I would play. All I had to do was, push the D-pad and click X and square. That's about it. So in this game, obviously you got to move your joystick so you can see and everything else. That was really my biggest concern when it came to trying to play while my wrist and everything's messed up. But I mean, obviously I'm doing fair enough, which I wasn't too confident that I'd be able to play normal round base. So that's why I was like, I'll just do outbreak. So I'm a little laid back where I can just play and, just kind of not really worry about getting shafted too much. But yeah, no, that's wild. Yeah, if you didn't watch the video before this, essentially what happened was is I was going down the highway. It was uh it was the 29. If you're if you know Greensboro area, Highway 29, Death Valley and all that. And essentially I was going hold on one second, I need to actually do something instead of just running around blindly. But I was going to the turn right after you hit the MLK where it joins in 229. And yeah, a guy hit me off my motorcycle when I was doing probably about 80 and slung me 150 foot. It shattered everything in my right wrist, to the point where I had to get surgery, obviously. Uh, but yeah, I mean, I'm getting through it, and God's giving me strength through it all, so I'm not really worried about it or anything like that. It's a lot more of just an inconvenience. But I mean, I know God's got a plan for it, so I'm not really stressing on anything like that. Hold on, I just make sure y'all can hear me easily enough. I don't know. I don't know how it works. I don't know if y'all hear the video. I don't know if y'all hear the game too, or if y'all just hear my voice. So just to be safe, though, I guess. But yeah, no, it's a wild experience. Which just actually it wasn't my first motorcycle accident I've been involved in. Well, I've been involved. I've laid my bike down, a few times when I had to learn. And before my motorcycle, I never rode anything as a motorized bike. Like I drove obviously like bikes when I was a kid, but yeah, you put a motor on it with high torque and everything else, it makes it just a little bit different. But no, I've had two more severe wrecks, which the first one was a little bit more my fault. I should have reacted differently. It was driving 29 again, but I was driving down the highway and I went to get over from behind a uh 18 wheeler and I got over and there was a car dead stopped on 29. So reaction kicked in. I hit my front brakes and it just threw me off the bike, and it locked, and I was done. I was rolling before I even really knew what was happening. But I mean, that one was a little bit more just really the road rash is really the worst part of that. Like, so I didn't go to the hospital. I didn't, you know, I mean, no one really knew except for one of my good friends who came and helped me pick up the bike and everything else like that. But no, this recent one, it wasn't, not going to the hospital definitely was an option because after I was finished flying, I was just laying there, looking up at the sky, thanking God that I made it through it, obviously. But I wasn't moving by myself for sure. I mean, I probably could have if I gave myself enough time, but it wouldn't have been an enjoyable experience at all. Let's see. I ain't got the right stuff to be any of those. I guess we'll go to that. Where the hell is it though? Where did that do? Oh, there it is. I know I hear something. But yeah, which I will say, man, it sucks because honestly, riding a motorcycle is one of the better experiences that I've had in life. Like just when it comes to that adrenaline and that the feeling that you get when your life is in your hands like that, it's a different type of level. I mean, I'm an adrenaline junkie. That's always been my thing. Uh, so with that, naturally, I was kind of drawn to it. My dad had a motorcycle. I mean, but I've always, both of my parents always drive fast, and I've always just kind of been around that. So I mean, before a motorcycle, I had it was my dad's car, but I'm gonna have to, obviously rebuild it and everything else because piece of the engine block broke. But I had a '97 uh Mustang GT with a 4.6 in it, and it was a 5 speed. I put a cold air intake on it. I had a short throw shifter in there for a good while, but that ended up breaking on me. So I got another one. I think it's the Hurst. Yeah, yeah. I know it's one of the more known brands, but it was a Hurst shifter and one of the kind of higher up ones. Uh, but then yeah, we had to take the transmission out, this, that, and the other, and it just kind of went downhill fast. Which it was a project car, always kind of. It was more like I revived it just enough to where I could drive it, and then I kind of just had to make do with what I had. But driving that car, I mean, it's just the adrenaline was there. So after I lost that and I had nothing, then I went to the motorcycle and I was daily driving the motorcycle for a good while, which had its ups and downs, obviously. But I as soon as I got a taste of really learning how to drive a motorcycle, it's just there's nothing that compares. Only issue though is just you have to rely on everybody else to pay attention, and that's something that I can't do anymore. Especially as life continues and start a family and everything like that. Like I can't be putting my life at risk because people don't pay attention. Like that's one thing about you ever look around as you're on the road and everything else. Everybody's on their cell phones these days or they're just oblivious to the world. I mean, everybody's so caught up in what's going on in their life, they're not paying attention to everything around them. So with that, at least for now, I'm retiring the whole motorcycle life just because I just I would rather not have to experience something like that again. 'Cause, I mean, I've had a lot of experiences in my life. Like I've been through the mill. From fighting to having to steal to uh watching my mom deal with her hardships with dealing with an abusive man, and I mean, the list goes on and on. But when it comes to that type of just that pain level, there was nothing like it for sure. Which I mean, it was so bad. Like essentially, how it is because I mean, I know some people black out, and some people forget, but I mean, I've experienced a lot of pain in my life. Like even like when I was 9 years old, I had a brick gun in my leg where I had to get 6 staples put into it, and I mean, like, it was bad, huge gash, like, probably the worst. Well, I don't know, this wrist one recently is pretty bad, but one of the worst, uh, injuries I had. It's 'cause, like, it was split open, like, it was the corner of the brick went into my leg as I fell on it, and it split it open to the point where it's like an upside down Y. So the the straight line of it, like, it pretty much, yeah, so the straight line of it was split open probably a good inch, but then, like, the Y portion of it, it was a whole chunk kinda hanging out to the point where they had to grab it, put it on, and staple it back closed type of thing. But, no, I mean, I've been dealing with pain and injuries my whole life, so when stuff like that happens, I'm fully aware. So I was, I watched the guy hit me. I was feeling every time I hit and everything else, which I mean, obviously, you have a little bit of adrenaline that helps, but after a while, you find and everything else that don't do it justice. But it got to the point where I was rolling, and it's just every time I'd hit, the pain was hurting more and more. It's like I was anticipating seeing a bright light. Like I wasn't. It was one of the things where I knew God was looking over me because I shouldn't have walked away from it. The first one I shouldn't have walked away from, but this one, there's no other logical explanation to why I survived it. But no, it's crazy though. It's like that's one thing my dad says a lot is it's crazy the things that people can get used to, which is a very true statement because you have some individuals where it's like people in abusive relationships and they get used to it. You got ow. You got some situations, like my own where, just certain pains and things like that you just kind of get used to living with and you deal with it. And I mean, I'm young. I'm 25 years young. I'll be 26 this year, but still not old enough to where I should be having these crazy pains, but because of working in construction since, I mean, I started helping when I was 16 during the summers, became full time when I was 18 after I graduated high school. But working in construction, heavy weightlifting, I've been doing that since I was 15. Started that in high school my sophomore year. And my issue was I'm not like a small guy. I'm not like, 5'3" or nothing crazy. I'm not 6 foot either. And with that, there's always kind of you have to make up for it in other areas of life because as a man, just sizing up and looking at the competition is something what every man does. Every man compares himself to others, to a certain extent, obviously, to where it's like I think I could take him. So being a short guy or shorter guy, all that kind of it definitely made a difference. Oh yeah, take it. Oh, hold on, give me 1 second. Yeah, don't hit me. I just need a few more seconds. Yeah, I'm surprised that gun actually did the trick. But no, so I mean, I've always been like heavy weights and stuff, which that was always just it was fun for me. Like I was in, let me see how old was I? I was probably like 16. I was calf raising close to 700 pounds because like I also played sports, and I mean, I was naturally kind of athletic and strong too, but playing sports and everything else, I would like having to jump and everything. Like I was, 5'7", and I'd jump up and I could smack a backboard of a basketball goal. But yeah, no, so I would honestly probably, yeah, ain't worth it. But I would always, push myself to certain extents where I would just hurt myself more than was necessary, should I say? Which I learned as I got older, obviously. I mean, that's how growing up goes. But no, because of that, I have dealt with quite a few injuries, and so like something like this, like It just it seems to be more of an inconvenience because I can't go out and work out. I can't go out and play basketball when I want to. I can't, go to work. Like I know some people, don't like work. It's like, oh, you get a break, blah blah blah. But when you living on your own and which I'm about to figure all this stuff out, but you live on your own and you're paying all your bills, kind of need the money. Like it's kind of essential. I mean, everybody needs money because that's the crap system that we're all forced to live in. But when you're, like I say, when you're have no other option, you really need money. Oh, that's the wrong button. I don't think I can beat that with my current setup. Oh yeah, nice. That's exactly what you meant. But yeah, no, like I say, those crazy things you get used to. But I mean, I don't know. It's just I've always felt different from the mass of people anyway, just because of how I've always perceived life and how I've always dealt with it. Like I've always dealt in logic, not in emotion, because so many times emotion has led me astray. So many times I got hurt by living, and letting emotion guide me compared to letting logic and the best decisions that way guide me. So because of that, I've always tried to be logical with everything, and I've always tried to grow a certain way and do things with, a certain fashion. So with that, I've learned a lot, but also it's like there's a lot of hardships that comes with that too, especially like relationships with people and stuff like that. Like it's not difficult, but difficult at the same time. Like it's just, did I do it? Yeah, I did. Okay. But like it's because like for me, I struggle with certain emotions. Like I feel the extremes a lot more than I feel most do. So okay, let me give you an example. So like love, hate, laughter, depression, like those, I experience those often, and I experience them, uh, to what I believe is the full amount, if not more, just because of how I view other people and how I've seen other people. Which I know people can carry stuff better than what they perceive, but also I know that with my own battles, it's been difficult. But so with that, it's like I feel certain things, but like stuff like compassion, like that's something I struggle with deeply. Or just because like I have like it's something I'm working on. Don't get me wrong, but it's something. It's like I've been through what I've been through. Okay, and I'll give you another example. So like I said, I play basketball with my friends, and there's times where you get hurt playing basketball or any sports, but you get hurt. And for example, one of my other good friends, uh, he would, like jam his finger. And he'll like full on not want to play no more or something like that, or he'll have to take 15, 20 minutes to recuperate himself. And I'm like, man, I've been through what I've been through, and I know like which I know it's all in the mind, and that's why I try not to think that way. But it's a difficult thing that I'm working on. But like like whenever I had my first serious motorcycle wreck, when I hit the brakes and slung me off, whatever else, as soon as I stopped rolling, I hopped up, got my bike out the road, and sat on the side under the bridge and waited for my ride, basically. And I was just kind of sitting there, really, uh, hmm, I was sitting there, really experiencing the moment to its fullest due to what I just had to happen, just to what I went through. But like I say, like it didn't definitely well, it wasn't gonna keep me down. It wasn't going to beat me. And I mean, I wrecked my bike on a Friday, and I was, all tore up. I couldn't walk like that because my, road rash was everywhere, and just I messed my hip up too. That was probably one of the biggest parts about that wreck is it ended up causing me to have a pinched nerve in my lower left back slash upper hip region. Uh, but no, I mean, I dealt with it. I was back at work that Tuesday. Like I was took 4 days to kind of recuperate. It happened on the Friday, so obviously wasn't gonna go to work then. Took the weekend, and then Monday, I think we either had it off or maybe he took it off because of my situation. But it's just so stuff like that. It's just my mind can't help to be like, you've been through this, and they're complaining about something so small as a jammed finger, which I know jammed fingers suck, but it's nothing compared to the other side of the scale of pain and things like that. Probably dodge, dip, duck, dive, and dodge. Damn, this is taking a lot longer than I wanted to. Which I will say, like, this right here ain't a bad, also, excuse all the uhs. My mind usually, it goes a lot faster than my mouth can usually keep up, so I'm having to pause just so I can formulate the correct words, so that way I can present to you a complete idea or train of thought. But this is definitely a way I can see me being able to still put out some content, which I mean, obviously enough, I mean, ain't no one gonna be watching this till probably some time down the road. Who knows? Maybe someone will watch it today. Maybe God will give it to me. But I know that everything it takes time with certain things and everything else. So this is something that I could do for the moment. That way I can just keep putting out videos and kind of getting my feel for how I'm supposed to do it and how I need to go about it and things of that nature. But I don't see myself playing no long game. Just because, like, man, even right now, like, with it's like, cause I got, like I said, I had surgery where they replaced it, so I got this freaking long scar on my wrist that I actually seen for the first time yesterday, and it's like at the very top of it. It meets pretty much the middle of my hand at the wrist level, like right there where your hand kind of has that upward crease to go into the hand. It starts right there and it works its way down, but right there where it starts at, it's like there's a constant sharp pain right there in that middle. Then it works its way up to my thumb. So playing the game, it's like it's got its challenges, should I say? I don't know. I want to do at least a somewhat long video, because I mean, I would think it would suck to, yeah, little jingling trick that way don't take you 10 years to get back. Another good thing too is if you get the grapple gun, and you do that, that way you can grapple and it'll kill a lot of that time too. But no, definitely want to try to make a longer video. That way people really have some, y'all have some good content to look at and everything else. But also at the same time, I have to not push it too much. That way there ain't no chance of complications with my healing process. That's really like I will say like it sucks, but the worst part about it is just not having the ability to go outside. Like play basketball is such a huge part to why this sucks so much. Man, I tell you, that's one thing I oh no, don't do that, don't do that. Ah. That's one thing I definitely am is a hooper. And uh I mean, I'm not I ain't no damn NBA player level, obviously enough. If I was, I'd be in there. But maybe deep, maybe you know, not maybe not even G League, but right below G League, I guess you could say. I don't know. I feel like if you put me on a G League team, I feel like I could make a good impact. And realistically, I don't know. I'm cocky. I'm confident, shall I say, when it comes to basketball. So I mean, I know what I can handle and whatnot. But no, not being able to play, man, really sucks for sure. Mainly because, like, everybody kind of has that thing they do whenever they're want to clear the mind, and whenever they want to get out of their head and live in the moment. Like, for example, my buddy, the one who helped me, get my bike when I wrecked, guy I work with, he likes to go fishing just because, you're away from the world, you can clear your head and you can be in the moment. For me, that's basketball, and it's like nothing compares to when you're in the game and you're playing, especially when you get hot and it's like you can't miss. Like, there's nothing in the world that beats that, in my opinion. Well, I mean, besides, certain relationships, things like that, but when it comes to the material things and the things that ultimately in the grand scheme of everything doesn't matter. Basketball is that's one of them things. So not being able to play, just kind of being stuck in my house and not being able to, just continue with life. It sucks. But I know it's about to change. I'm actually going to shortly on my mom is in need of help, shall I say. And with that, I'm gonna let her move in with me for a little while. That way she can kind of help me out too. And did I do that? Yeah, I did. Okay. But yeah, no. So I'm just a little trick too. If you didn't know, if you knife that, you'll skip from 2 to 3. Kind of speed through it a little faster. Uh, but no, yeah, she's gonna move in to help me a little bit, so I'm able to actually going to kind of get back to somewhat of a life. Like she's gonna, at least she'll have a car, so I can go and she'll allow me to use it, so I can go do all my physical therapy, and I can, go to church, go to friends, whatever I need it for, which is a huge plus. Also, to kind of the main reason why I'm looking forward to moving in, because that's one thing about me. I enjoy my solitude, should I say. Uh, I'm not huge on people because I know who people are. I've had plenty of experiences with people, so I don't care to be around them if I ain't got to. So I'll usually stay to myself. So normally something, uh, normally it's like I would help my mom, but living with me that's a different thing because I don't like people being like my house is this is my happy place. This is where I get my peace. I like to be quiet in my house. Like I don't like to talk. Like there's a lot of times where I've thought about recording, but I haven't because when I play games, I don't play game like I like to just sit back and chill and play the game. Having to talk and it's a lot more of a job because I'm, doing something I normally wouldn't do. Oh, like almost dying. Damn, son. But that in the nick of time. I'm gonna go ahead after that. But yeah, no, I'm definitely ready to get back to the point where at least I got a ride and get out of the house. But it's annoying. But besides just that kind of inconvenience behind it, I mean, really it ain't been all that bad. Excuse me. Okay, let's see. What's that? That's the crystal. Oh, yeah, probably do that. Damn, I'm not wanting to play anymore. This fucking thumb of mine hurts. Mm. Take a deep. Oh yeah, hit that parkour. Hit that parkour. Parkour. Ah, damn. Yeah, I need a second. Ow. But yeah, no, that's crazy. That's one thing I can say. Like, people have no idea. Like these bodies of ours, like man, they're a lot more durable than people realize. Like I never would have imagined it even possible to like anytime I ever hear of a motorcycle wreck, they're usually deceased or paralyzed. It's usually it for them. But man, I mean, which I know 100% without a shadow of a doubt, God was watching over me through it all. I know if He wasn't, I wouldn't be here. I'd be obviously with Him. But on that note, I mean, it's crazy the stuff your body can heal from. And like, that's another thing too. Like people talk about, atheists and people with that belief system where they think all this just happened by chance. And it's like, man, how do you get a body that heals itself? Like we can self heal. Like that's a damn superpower. And yet people look at it like it's just whatever. Like our bodies are very complex systems. We have the nervous system, the skeletal system, the damn, I just had a whole huge brain fart. Anyways, the body is it's a complex system, and with that, there's no way that it just accidentally happened. That just doesn't make sense to me. That's not. There's no logical way you can prove that. But the proof of God, it's like, man, it's everywhere. Just because of how everything works and how everything gets all linked together. Like, there's just so many assets or so many variables to look into when it comes to the whole God conversation. Damn, man, piss off. It's hard to crouch. I use R3 at the right joystick to crouch, so it makes it a real pain in the arse whenever I got zombies trying to bump my biscuits. Damn, where's the last one at? Oh, if I fail this, I'm going to cry. No, I'm not. It would suck though. Where'd that do? Actually, it might be on the other side there. Ha ha ha, there it is. Thank God. But yeah, no, no, I can't wrap my mind around that. Like I'm a very logical person. Everything has to make sense, and it has to have some type of facts, some type of you know critical thinking and logic behind any decision or assumption that I come up with. And atheism or any of that, like it's the furthest thing from logic. Like you need more faith to be an atheist than you do to be a Christian, without a shadow of a doubt. Because, with atheism, you have to believe that everything came from nothing, which makes absolutely no sense when you think about it. How does everything come from nothing? Nothing. There's nothing. There's no like that's like saying that's like me. Okay, let's say I go in my room and I destroy it. I throw my dresser down, throw my shoes everywhere, clothes on the floor, flip my bed, and do all this stuff. There's no way in the world you're going to go in there 2 hours later and it's going to be cleaned up. You don't get a controlled system from chaos. Yet that's exactly what the Big Bang Theory is trying to back up. Is that just an explosion happened and bam, now we got the world, and oh yeah, that ain't working. Ah, but yeah, no, it's something like, oh, random explosion happened, and then the world just happened to piece itself together. the world just so happened to be made where everything that a human could possibly need to survive is here. It just happened to blow up, and we have this order and design that goes with the world. Like, there's no way stuff like that happens by chance. Yet everybody thinks that. Like, everybody's just they're fooled by this narrative because they would rather believe there's no God. That way they don't have to, answer to them, or they can do what they want to, or whatever it is, whatever the case may be. There's a reason behind it. And, everybody just, they keep trying to push this narrative of no God. Even recently, man, so currently in time, the 2024 Olympics just happened, and they openly mocked the Last Supper of Christ in the Olympics. And, they're trying to dance around it like, oh, that's not what it was. It was just because Greeks have dinners and this, that, and the other. But no, it was a very clear representation of the Last Supper. It had the long table, everybody's positioned the same way. It had one in the middle, who was the key focus. Like, there's no way that it wasn't an obvious mockery of Christianity. And it's insane that we're living in a world where that's okay. Which, I mean, there's a lot of people going against it, a lot of people speaking up about it. But it's wild that we live in a world where they just do it. So, yep, you know what? Just kind of deal with the consequences or whatever else. Like, they don't care about any repercussions. They didn't care about anything else. Like to have drag queens, trans men, women, and whatever else. Women with beards and all this crazy crap. That's absolutely ridiculous if you ask me. But you have all this stuff. It's openly mocking God while the whole world watches. Like, there's no scenario where that's okay. And like, without a shadow of doubt, if somebody did that to the trans community and they went on anything, and just even talked about against trans, then they would be the bad guys. But going on there and mocking them, there'd be an all out, I don't know about war, but there'd definitely be a very, very, very big conflict that we'd have to address and deal with. But I mean, that's also the fault of followers of God. It's just at this point in history, it seems we're all beaten down, and they just don't want to address stuff and have that conflict, or whatever the case may be. So, the devil is he's at a point where he doesn't care. He's open about it. He ain't trying to hide no more. He's just doing whatever he wants to do, kind of. I don't know. I pray it's all going to get better. I think it is. Like, there's a lot of stuff I'm looking into where it's like, it looks like there's going to be a major flip soon in history. I don't know when, it could be 5 years from now, 10 years from now, 20 years from now, but within my lifetime at least, I believe that there's going to be a big flip where it's going to be kind of a reawakening, and everybody's going to kind of get back on their P's and Q's and kind of not permanently fix everything because there's no such thing, but they're going to at least, it's going to improve greatly from this world that we are currently living in, which would be great. Like, that's what we need is we're over here, dealing with all this violence and all the crime and all the, immigrants coming into our nation, and raping and murdering children, and like, there's just so much evil going on right now. It's absolutely insane. And it's like everybody's cool with it. Like, all right, yeah, it's fine. It's whatever. But that's not the truth at all. So there's no reason that this should be getting allowed, especially in America where we claim to be a God-fearing nation, which we're not no more. But everybody acts like, I don't know. It's like I get the whole freedom of speech thing and everything else, but I think there should be, how do I explain it? There should be limits to what's allowed to the public view. And I'm not saying you should suppress people's voices or anything like that, but when it comes to like trans stuff and everything else, like man, they're forcing this stuff on children constantly. And everybody's like, oh, they should know what gay, straight, and all this stuff is, but kids shouldn't be exposed to anything sexual or anything, you know, besides the innocence, because as any adult knows, as soon as you lose your innocence and you get to a certain point of life, I mean, that's it. It's game on. You're going at it, balls deep constantly. Which I don't know. It's damn, I don't want to play anymore. I'm not gonna keep it a buck with you guys. What time is it? 10 o'clock? Mm, yeah, yeah. I think I'm done 'cause my damn body hurts. But no, it really is. It's just a lot of those things that just it shouldn't be involved in the world at all. Like it shouldn't be shown to kids. It shouldn't be like none of that. Like it's ridiculous. Let's do this to make this part of the game a little bit easier on myself. That way I ain't gotta go around freaking mollywhopping everybody with a shovel. I don't know, man. Like I'm hoping that in time people really start to wake up. But I mean, there's a lot of people, like I said, who are at that point where uh they're trying to wake people up. Like there's a man that I watch. There's I mean, there's a few of them. One his name's Jordan Peterson, and he's starting an academy where it teaches people more of the right way to be, and how to think correctly and how to really go about life and everything like that. And then you also, you got guys. There's one dude I don't know his last name, and I hate it. I need to figure out how to pronounce it. His first name's Cliff, and he does Q&A on Christianity and things like that. But I forgot, his last name. It starts with a K. It's like Knechettle or something like that. Um, but there's him. There's another guy. What's his name? What's his name? What's his name? George Janko, another guy like I enjoy watching. Um, Joe Rogan podcast. Depending on the individual. You got guys like David Goggins. There's so many. There's a lot of men out there who are. You can tell they're really pushing to change the narrative. And I hope to eventually be a part of that. I hope to grow into being one of those voices that can help people and show people the truth. But it really just all depends on God's plan and what where it takes me. But no, I don't know. The world's definitely in need for a change. And like I say, if I look at everything, there's a lot of stuff happening right now in the world to where I don't think we're done just yet. But anyways, I appreciate it. Appreciate y'all, sticking in there with me. Appreciate y'all, you know, giving me your time. It's definitely the most valuable thing that you have to offer, and I'm thankful for it. Spread the word, like and subscribe and get the message out there. Peace out and God bless.